I'm Carol and welcome to Over 50, So What? You know, I don't think I've ever met anyone over 50 who wasn't concerned about short-term memory loss, dementia, Alzheimer's. And today we chat to Dr Michael Elstein about what can be done to slow down or prevent significant memory loss. Now, for all you newbies out there who haven't seen the show, after the break we do fun exercises to music. Doesn't matter what you're wearing, just join in with us. If you need to, hold on to a chair. We'd love to have you join us. And then we meet the inspirational everyday legend, Joan Bragg. Joan's worked with Scouts Victoria for over 40 years. And maybe you'd like to know how you can help as well. Enjoy the show. Today on Energy for Life, we welcome anti-aging and longevity specialist, Dr. Michael Elstein. Now, Dr. Elstein is a fellow of the American Academy of Anti-Aging Medicine and the Australian College of Nutritional and Environmental Medicine. He regularly appears on TV and radio and has presented to medical and general seminars all around the world. Michael has written numerous books, including The Wellness Guide to Preventing the Diseases of Aging, You Have the Power, and Eternal Health. Hi Michael, and welcome to Over 50 So What? Great to have you back on the show.
Great to be back on your show, Carol.
Now, last year we talked about the immune system, and I understand that recently you've been writing some articles and doing some research into memory loss, dementia, Alzheimer's, and from my research, talking to people, they're not so concerned about losing their physical abilities, they're more concerned about this memory loss, this possibility of getting dementia and Alzheimer's. Is it part of the natural aging process? Can you just tell us a bit about what happens?
Oh, what happens to our memory as we get older? It definitely deteriorates. And so what I was really concerned about, and I'm sure a whole lot of other people, is that tip of the tongue experience. So you try to remember a famous person's name, a celebrity who's quite a well-known person, like Tom Hanks, for example. And I've had this, you can't. So I was thinking, oh my God, I'm heading towards Alzheimer's. What's happening to me? And so I went online and immediately did a whole bunch of memory tests to see if my brain was deteriorating and if I was heading in any bad direction. And I wasn't, because that tip of the tongue thing where you can't remember somebody's name, a celebrity or other people, is normal. So as we get older, we remember names less well, and that's okay. It doesn't mean you're heading for Alzheimer's. But what you need to be concerned about is if your memory deteriorates quite dramatically. So if you compare yourself to people around you, you're saying the same age as you, and you find that their memory is better than yours, and yours is deteriorating compared with your friends, then that's not a good thing. So you don't want to get to that stage where your memory for your age group is really very, very bad, because that can mean you're heading towards some sort of dementia. We really need to be preventive about all of this. We don't want to get to the state where we can't remember and it's affecting our everyday activities. That is not a good thing. That means that you've got some sort of mental impairment which could be leading to dementia. So how do you prevent yourself from getting there? What do you have to do to not get to the stage where you are forgetting significantly? And that's what we need to be addressing, because we don't want to get to that stage. And very sadly, that's what people let happen. They get to the stage where they're forgetting a lot. And then when you reach that stage, it's very difficult to reverse what's happened in your brain.
do I understand then that you're saying that there may be some sort of memory loss as we age? It's just a matter of the degree as to whether we should be concerned about having a mental impairment?
That is absolutely correct. So what I'm also saying, point number two, is that you want to prevent yourself from getting to significant memory impairment. It's normal to be forgetting as we get older, but if you're forgetting a lot, that's a concern. So how do you stop yourself from getting to the stage where you forget a lot? Because what happens to our brain as we get older is that our circulation gets compromised. We don't have as good a brain circulation. And also, we use sugar in our brain to make energy. And when that becomes less efficient, that can also lead to significant brain degeneration. So you can do tests. You can do a health assessment to see how well you are using sugar to make energy. You can have a blood test, which looks at your glucose levels and your insulin levels. Because what happens when you eat food, it gets broken down into glucose and you make the hormone insulin. Insulin allows the sugar to get into your cells. And when insulin doesn't work, which can lead to diabetes, that's when your sugar doesn't get into your brain cells. And that's when you can get into trouble.
So we've got the issue of blood sugar, not just for diabetes, but for your brain health. So what else can people do to assess whether they are heading towards mental impairment?
You need certain essential nutrients for your brain to work. Nutrients like protein and fatty acids. So protein is found in eggs, meat, and fish. So we need to be eating those, and beans if you're a vegetarian. And fatty acids are very important for the brain as well. So they are found in olives and olive oil and fish and nuts and seeds. But you also need B vitamins. So B vitamins like vitamin B12 and folic acid. B vitamins are very important. So you can have a blood test which assesses your B vitamin status. And if you're not getting enough B vitamins from the blood test, you need to do something about that to make sure you're getting enough before your brain breaks down.
Yes, Michael, you mentioned just a minute ago that you can go online and there are tests you can do just to see if your memory is starting to fail and if you're starting to have some issues. Can you expand on that a bit more?
I have a link, and I can provide you with a link where I went to do a memory test. And it's about a 10-15-minute memory test. And then you're going to do a whole bunch of memory things, remembering names and remembering shapes and remembering animals and everything. And then at the end of that, you get an assessment, and it'll tell you how good your memory is for your age.
Well, the viewers would very appreciate that. So we can pass that link on to the viewers. That'd be excellent. Now, can you tell us about strategies other than nutritional strategies to help us with our brain function?
You have to really be challenging your brain a lot. You know, like there's things like crosswords, but I think you've got to go way beyond that as you get older. So I've started playing the piano, for example, because that's an extreme, or any musical instrument, because that's an extreme way to stress your brain and to integrate both sides of your brain and to do as much as you can to build new brain cells. And aside from dancing and learning a foreign language, which is also another way to stress your brain, I don't know, can you think of any other way to stress your brain aside from learning a new musical instrument? And I know you're a dancer.
Yeah, dancing's good because of the music, the coordination, and it does really enhance brain function. But we also did a segment on the show on juggling because that enhances brain performance too. So learning any new skill, especially if it involves some physicality like playing the piano.
The more you stress your brain with these sorts of activities, the more you're going to grow new brain cells, because we can grow. The term is neuroplasticity. You might have heard of neuroplasticity, but that's about building new brain cells, because we lose brain cells all the time. We're supposed to lose about 8,000 brain cells, I don't know, every so often, and our brain shrinks. So this happens. This is normal. So it's normal to lose brain cells and for our brains to shrink. But we need to do as much as we can to limit this. So the more new brain cells you make, and you can make them by doing these things like playing the piano, dancing, juggling, all those sorts of things, can limit the amount of shrinkage and the amount of cells you lose. And of course, also exercise. You know, exercise is very vital, not only for the body, but for the brain, you've got to do everything you can to look after your brain and limit your exposure to electromagnetic radiation. Stop using your mobile phone. You don't need it that much. I don't know, how did we connect before we had mobile phones? We somehow managed.
So to sum up, if you think you're starting to experience memory loss, we need to, there are tests available online that you're going to send us the link for. Plus we need to look at our B vitamins, our omegas and fatty acids. Plus we need to exercise and do some things with coordination, maybe languages. Does that sum it up pretty much?
It does, and that's a good summation there, Carol, so that's excellent. Can I just give 2 plugs? One for my book, the Wellness Guide. And in the Wellness Guide, which I can give you a link for, there is a chapter there on preventing Alzheimer's. And also, I do an assessment as part of my, on eternalhealth.org, which is my website. There is a brain assessment, a corporate brain wellness assessment. And so that's when I measure all these things when people come to see me, glucose and insulin and B vitamins and hormones and other things that you need to know about before your brain breaks down.
I did actually mention in your intro your guide, your wellness guide, so we'll make sure there's a link for that as well. So thanks so much, Michael.
Thanks very much for having me. I really enjoyed it. It's gone so quickly, and I loved this time that we spent together. It was really
Thanks for watching our TV show. Be sure to hit subscribe and then you'll never miss an episode. Jump on Facebook, join our group, get in on the fun, fitness, wellness and inspiration. I'm Carol, over 50. So what?